call this meeting to order for the Community Services Committee. And Councilor Snell, would you give the invocation to us?
Stand, please. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day. Thank you for the participants here for the meeting today, Lord. Help us to make good, wise decisions. And be with us as we go through the remainder of the day. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen. And roll call, please.
Harvey Busser.
Here.
Chris Stowe.
Here.
Neil England.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Julia Coates.
Here.
Bradley Cobb. Joe Crittenden. Joe Fishinghawk. Meredith Fraley. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Don Garvin.
Honey.
Tina Glory Jordan. Present. Curtis Snell.
Here.
David Thornton.
Here.
Kara Cowan Watts.
Honey.
We have-
Robbie, did you get me?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
We have Councilor Fishinghawk on the intercom with us, please. Okay. Approval of minutes for the August 11th, 2009 regular session. Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Moving to second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. We're running a little bit behind schedule, so I'm going to ask Norman to come up and give us some highlights. Norman, we have a report, which I'm thankful for it. It's a good report. But I'd like to give you the opportunity to tell us some highlights or some things you'd like for us to know that maybe wasn't in your report. Thank you.
Just like to mention, and I know some of you were there during the holiday for the groundbreaking for our new Veterans Office that we hope Earth will be moving by November the 1st on. So we look forward to that and hope that it will help us with our service provisions to our veterans. We received about $8,000 from the honoring event that was held at the casino that was put on by the Youth Council, and our John Kitcher Youth Shelter received the proceeds and benefits from that. There were about $8,000. It could be more than that by now, that we'll put to good use for equipment that we needed there. So that was very nice. Food Distribution Department was very helpful, I believe, with helping the Greasy School at the time of their fire. One of our staff went over and helped them make connections so that they could get food back, and we also left a refrigerated truck over there for several days and brought in a freezer for them to use to help store food. As always, we're busy. We're seeing increases, due to the economic conditions, but my staff continues to do a good job, I believe, overall. So.
Yes, good report. Any questions for Norman? Mr. Garvey.
Norman, I don't know if you're the one to answer this, but how about the blankets? Are they on the way or in? Or?
The blankets, Jared, I know that we've heard their maybe report or something.
They should be in the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And they're a design this year using the Cherokee theme for the Cherokee holiday. I think you're going to like it.
Someone said it's coming through customs. What does that mean?
That means they probably came from China.
Through a tarot vendor, I might add.
Right. Any more questions for Norman? Thank you, Norman.
Thank you.
Next up will be Charlie Stoke, Community Services. And Charlie, we just had a subcommittee meeting, and we were waiting for you to come over, but I'd talk to you. Could you give a brief update on the Fairfield and the Redbird site planning? In particular, maybe when we're going to start the infrastructure and how that's going to work.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Actually, we've made some really good progress towards the Fairfield and the Redbird sites. I think we're pretty close to getting started. I think I know we were waiting on the environmental review, so that's should be here within the next week. If it's not already here, I haven't heard anything, but I know it's getting close. And the roads department's been out there looking at the roads and getting access to easements, getting into the property at Redbird. And then also the natural resources people have been working together, cutting the roads as far as where the houses are going to be. And Billy has got the permit from the EQ as far as constructing the water lines for both sides, the Fairfield and Redbird. So I would assume probably would, and I hope you don't hold me to this, but I'll be safe in saying about the next couple of months we'll be out there probably turning dirt as far as the roads and things like that. So it's just, we're getting real close to it. But I think even at that, we'll probably be there sooner than that. So we're pushing our people to get out there. As a matter of fact, Billy had his meeting this morning. I was at the staff meeting, and he was calling all his staff people in, his crew in, to get ready to order materials and equipment all at those sites. So with that close, Harley.
And then the Redbird site, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, but there's going to be 15 home sites
Right.
there at Redbird, and how many home sites were over at Fairfield later?
Pretty much, yeah, about the same.
About the same. And so, just for information for the other committee members, those sites are going to be 5-acre sites, 5 10-acre sites. I believe, Charlie, that's what we talked about. And then the tribe will own those particular properties, and the house will actually belong to the homeowner once they're built.
Right.
So that's kind of some information. But anyway, at our next subcommittee meeting, I want to invite the other council members to come, because I want to ask Charlie to come over and go into a little bit more detail about those sites at that committee meeting. So you may want to keep that on the calendar. So we'll put the notice out when the next subcommittee is going to be. Anyway, Charlie, I wanted to have you come up and give us some highlights of more. Then maybe some council members have some questions for you. But anything else you'd like to tell us?
Well, you've got the report, and so it pretty well outlines what's going on in our department. So what I'd like to do is just say, if you have any questions, then I'll be able to answer your questions that you have.
Any questions for Charlie? Well, I've got a couple of questions. And you can email me the answers for this. There's a water board meeting in Delaware County, I believe, next Monday night. And there's 2 projects that are going on up there. One is the Bradley water line extension, which I believe is funded through the stimulus fund. And then the Ross Acre water line extension, which is funded through the Indian Health Service. If you would, Charlie, we'd like to have a representative up there to the water board meeting to give an update as when construction may start, or what progress and what the status of those 2 lines are.
When is that meeting, Harley?
I believe it's next Monday night, but I can email you back and make sure.
Okay. We'll have
But
somebody.
David asked me about that today, and I said, well, I'll check with you today. So if you would have somebody to come up, and if you would just have them to email me, because I'd like to know what the status of it.
Okay, we can do
I think
that.
they're really close. So,
Yeah, they're moving along on those. So
okay.
I'll give you an update on that through email.
Any more questions for Charlie? Thank you, Charlie.
Welcome.
Next is roads and transportation for Michael Lynn.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Again, I think you've got my report as well in your packet. The only thing that I would like to report that didn't make it into the written report I just learned this morning, right after 8 o'clock this morning, that our agreement that we've talked about with between Cherokee Nation and the Federal Highway Administration to compact the IRR roads program through the federal highways rather than the BIA was signed off on on September 9th. So we are officially under the Federal Highway Administration as far as our program goes. The next step that we're working towards right now is getting an agreement. Well, it's not really an agreement. It's actually just a document signed to release funding for 2 of our stimulus projects. The stimulus projects are going to be funded on a project-by-project basis. We've got 2 projects sent forward to them right now. We're waiting to get signatures from administration, and we'll send that document back to Federal Highways and hopefully have some funding within 20 to 30 days. Be able to get some of the, at least 2 of the stimulus projects out to bid immediately. So I wanted to report that.
Any questions for Michael? Mr. Staff?
What about up there in Kansas with these community housing projects, the roads that we was going to, they come under the stimulus program, or how are they funded?
Those, I think the ones you're talking about, were not. They were might have been looked at it initially through David Sutherland's program, through some stimulus dollars. I'm not sure if those were actually made it on the list.
Yes, they are actually on the list. Bond Street, Sarah Lane, Vicky Lane, and
Yes.
Buchanan Avenue. We've got those on the list. And I've got the list that we're looking at, and I'm gonna talk about it a little bit when I get up there.
I'll wait and talk to you.
That was a kind of a cooperative effort between our program and David's program. He was handling the money, we were kind of handling the project administration. So,
How about the Clouds Creek Road that you visit that site?
I've not personally visited. I had 2 staff members up there today, visited the site, and also visited with the commissioner and his superintendent. And they said they reported back shortly before the meeting today that the commissioner hoped to have that project wrapped up in the middle of October. As you may know, there were some issues with some of the calculations or figures that they submitted for funding. I believe they've got those worked out, and they're going to be able to complete the project with the funding that has been appropriated or allocated to that project. So I don't see them needing to come back for any more money at this time.
Thank you.
Councilor Baker.
Yes. The Chewy Road project in Adair County, does that road go up the river from Chewy or where?
You know where Skelly Schools is at?
Yes.
It'll turn there, turn north at Skelly Schools and go up there. Don't know the exact mileage. The road goes up there and kind of Y's off, and it'll go to that Y and stop at that point. But it does kind of follow that bluff and the river all up through there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilor Jordan.
Michael, what will be the primary difference from the way we've done business in the past and now that we're in the federal system? I think when you first mentioned that. What's the primary difference for us?
That's a very good question. One of the biggest differences is I think the Federal Highway Administration is going to be much more streamlined as far as their business process goes. They've told us many times they don't want anything mailed to them. They want everything electronically. Their payment process is much more streamlined. They have said there's no running any hitches. That they should have a payment out within 20 days. I told you guys 20 to 30 days, assuming something may happen. I hope to have money in 20 days after this agreement is signed today. Their environmental process is considerably different than what we had been used to with the Bureau of Indian Affairs. They consider a lot of the projects that they administer categorical exclusions. Again, this is what I'm being told. We haven't experienced it yet. But that right there, just the fact that some of the projects will be considered categorical exclusions will save a tremendous amount of time. If you're familiar with the environmental process, it'll save you a tremendous amount of time. We still have to go through all the same processes that we've always gone through as far as right-of-way acquisition, as far as utility relocations. I don't see it saving a whole lot of time there, but it will definitely save time and efforts in the environmental section and as well as the payment, actual funding portion.
Any different in our bidding process?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so
No.
that will remain the same.
It should remain the same.
We can still focus on payroll
Yes,
people
ma'am.
and.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. Definitely.
Councilor Collins. Sorry.
Michael, what's our common practice or our policies in regards to projects that have been on the table for a while? I got a notification here a while back that there was a project in Mays County that had requested funding, and for whatever reasons it hasn't got off the ground yet. So what's our common practice there for when we allocate those funds? How long have you been giving the commissioners to get the stuff together and move on a project?
We've seen some projects drag on for years and years. Actually, we've had projects as old as 4 to 6 years old in the past. We don't like to see that. Obviously, we do go through a process at the end every fiscal year, and the letter that Councilor Soap was referring to is a letter that we send out to all county commissioners with projects older than 6 months old. If they've got anything on the books older than 6 months, we send them this letter and say, give us an update, tell us if you'll have it done. We highly encourage them to get it done by the end of the fiscal year, which is September 30th, so that we can get it off our books and get it paid for. That's basically what that is. We don't really have a set formal process as far as pulling any money back out from that project. Certainly if I got direction to do so, we would do it. But if right now we don't have a formal process in place to pull any money back.
All right, thank you.
Councilor Cobb?
In that same vein, the bridge up in Washington County, my understanding is that they've been waiting on Total Telephone to move some poles, and that's what I've been getting for the past 2 months. I know you checked on that, and I'm probably sure the letter went out to that county commissioner.
It did.
But just letting you know it's still not finished. So
Yeah, and a lot of the phone calls I've been getting recently from the due to the letters going out is the weather. A lot of them are trying to get them wrapped up pretty quickly. The weather has set them back in the past month or so, and then some utility issues on some of the other projects, like Councilor Cobb mentioned. Everybody's got a reason, and as you well know, but I think they are at least trying to make an attempt to get them going.
Councilor Baker?
And am I assuming that under the federal highway, the specs and nothing's changed in that area?
No. As far as the road construction process, I don't see that changing at all. They'll be built to the same standards and specifications that they're built to now.
No more, no less wiggle room.
I don't believe so. No.
Okay.
Councilor Fraley?
The Cedar Crest Road, I call it Cedar Crest, between Friend Bridges and Cedar Crest. Will that be resurfaced as part of the bridge project?
Between
Twin Bridges and the Cedar Crest Road west of Twin Bridges, will that road be resurfaced? The reason I'm asking is the county commissioner told me that it would be under the bridge project, but I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, from Earbob Road all the way west to I believe that's probably called Cedar Crest Road. It will all be paved or resurfaced. Now, whether it's with the bridge project or not, I really can't say without looking at the plans.
Okay.
I would assume that it would be, or most of it would be, along with the bridge project. But I believe they're going to be led at the same time, the bridge project and the construction, the road project at the same time. So hopefully it'll all get done right at the same time.
Do we have a projected start date yet on the bridge?
I'm hoping 90 days or so. We're wrapping up the utilities out there, the power company's out there right now. We're working with the telephone company to get them going, and then we're going to do something a little bit different on the water. We're going to try to move the water line with our construction contract that we have with the prime contractor on that project. So hopefully, I'm hoping that'll speed some of the process up as far as moving utilities. But power is moving, and we're working to try to get the telephone moving real quick.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Jordan, you have any questions?
Michael, is your report part of Charlie's report?
I think it's combined into the same report,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
So this, we're talking about Greasy Rehab, Nycut Rehab, Dry Creek Rehab, Rice Woodard Rehab, and the Salina Kenwood Rehab. Those are your projects, right?
Yes, ma'am, they sure are.
Most of them, we're waiting on the language for the stimulus program. Do we have any idea now that we're going into fall, are we going to wait and do those in the spring, or what's the plan on?
Two of the project, the Greasy one, letter A, and letter D, the Rice Woodard project, will be the first two that go out to bid, and I hope to see those out to bid within the next 30 days.
30 days.
Now they'll bid for about 4 weeks, or in about another 30 days.
So about 60 days.
About 60 days, I see those two going out. Now the remaining 3 projects, we'll probably let those sometime in November, December area. But they probably will not start construction, major construction that is, until springtime, probably April, May.
Kind of getting into a bad time to do something.
We are. We've missed a lot of good weather here.
Thank you.
Michael, just 10 more questions for Michael. Michael, just FYI, I spoke to you a little bit about the Saline Courthouse. We did some road priorities. I think there were 17 that Michael and the road department put in, but the Saline Courthouse wasn't on the priority list. But at some point in time, Michael, we're probably going to make a recommendation. I certainly want to make a recommendation to put priorities on the Saline Courthouse Road. That's going to be one of our tourist attractions up there for the May Delaware County line and for the Cherokee Nation. So I would hope to have some support on that when we bring that to you. So just be, be aware that we were making that recommendation.
Okay.
The other thing is, I didn't write down what I was going to ask you now. But that was mainly what I wanted to bring up. The other thing I wanted to do was a comment is that Michael in the roads program has spent $20 million last year, which is really, really great. And he has some more money to spend, so everything that you can speed up, we'd like to see you speed it up.
Me and you both.
And I know how you do. I know your situation you're in.
Yeah, I know.
Had a good perspective.
And can you get a sign that says Sling Courthouse this way?
Yeah, we could probably work on that. Yes, sir. Is there not off the old 33?
Yeah, off the old 33. I get confused from time to time, and they said they have to turn around and go back.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Talking about signs, a lot of our signs are leaning. Would there be any way, since the county do not seem to have the ability to go out and straighten them up, that maybe we could send some crews out to, because they're good advertisement for us. And some of them are almost down in Cherokee County. If we could just get somebody to go out there and prop them up pretty good so that we at least get credit.
Sure.
The nation gets credit for the roads that they spent money on.
Sure, yeah. If you know of specific areas, because we've got them all over the place, but if you know of specific areas.
The one out by my house especially.
Okay.
I was thinking about sending my husband up there to take care of it.
Okay.
If y'all will do it, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
We spent a lot of money out there in wasn't during the time I've been on council, but previous councils have spent money out there on that road, and the signs just about down.
Okay. All right, we'll take a look at it.
If you don't have time, I can make you go up there and do stuff.
Okay, we'll take a look at it. I'll let you know.
Next on the agenda is Michael in for public comments, and we're going to go ahead and do that. Michael, I appreciate you having it on the agenda every month. So is any comments for public comments for the roads program? If not, thank you. Good report.
Thank you.
Next up is Mr. Sullivan for the Housing Services.
I have no disclosures to make this year about, which is a part of my report. I'll be doing those disclosures for all the housing programs just probably starting next month. So don't have anything to disclose this month. The road paving that's currently going on, and I can't say nothing about Michael and his group for kind of handling that. I just get to give a report and sign the request for payment. That's my role. The current paving that's going on in Adair County, we've got Bell, Duncanville, and Blackard. He's been trying to start for about 3 weeks, and the rain has kept him from doing that. Still planning. It's the next thing he does, so I feel comfortable there. Cherokee County, we had Fort Gibson addition. That's completed. Autumn Woods, which is north of town out here, and Grandview West, which is north of town. Both of those were completed on Friday. Barron Heights, the rain kind of got them stifled there, but they should start this week depending on the rain. Probably doesn't look too promising. Mays County was Sanders Heights. They're not quite done. They're like 2/10 of a mile getting it done, and they're again waiting on the rainy weather. Now we've got some other and then we also had one in Muskogee County that was completed a couple months ago. We've got, and I can't remember, y'all asked for this. I can't remember if I sent it, but I've got it today. I'll leave it with the folks, and they can get y'all a copy of it. And I do need Curtis some information on that very last one. It's Oaks, but I don't remember. That's all it says is Oaks. I'm assuming it's probably some of those additions that are there, but I don't know that for sure.
2-3 additions there.
That's what we were talking about. Okay, but that's the list that we're working on now. What we did with the other one, I sent it to my folks. They go through it. They put together the request for the environmental review and send it over to Tom Elkins. Tom will, his group will get that all together. And then at that point, Billy will also be, or Billy, Michael Lynn and his folks will be working on it, kind of put some projections together on what's going to cost and what the specs are. That'll go to purchasing like we did with this last one, to where we can bid out the the materials that'll be used. But that's kind of the plan.
Question.
David, that's the second set, right?
Yes, this is the second
Okay.
set.
The
And then you
first
can see
set
it's-
is primary, almost completed.
Yeah, it starts with number 10.
Okay.
So, anyway, I'll leave that, and they can set that out there and give it their run. I mentioned last.
Question, had a comment.
I'm sorry.
And how's that working out for you, bidding out the materials
So far, it's
against what we had or whatever?
yeah, it kind of keeps us. I think it keeps our nose clean with HUD,
Uh-huh.
and it's worked out so far. Good.
Cheaper, same?
Yeah, and actually, we're going to have a little money left. We'll probably be able to do a couple more projects out of it.
Good.
I mentioned last night the next board meeting was pushed back a week. It's the 27th at noon. Reason for that is I'll be out of town. So y'all set your council meeting for that 19th, so I won't be here that day.
So there's no meeting tonight?
No, this is for October.
Oh, okay.
There's a meeting tonight. In our stimulus funding for rehab, and I apologize, I'm going to put that in my report next time, so I'll have it. About a week and a half ago, I kind of did a little tallying. Maybe I should just email you that info, but it seems like there's approximately 30 or 35 that we've already, rehabs that we've already working on or completed or what have you. There's probably 25 more that's out for bid. On the modernization side, where we're working on our apartments, we got one set of roofs over Pryor that we're ready to sign a contract on. We've got a half a dozen or 10 more contracted or bids out for different things: insulation, roofs, windows, those types of things is what we're kind of doing. But I'll put that in a report, and you all can kind of show you what all we're doing and with that money.
David, on the stimulus money that you've got, what's your timeline on expending those funds?
We have to have it 100% obligated by, I believe it's the end part of March.
Obligated?
Yeah. So there's
You have
you have to have it fully spent in 3 years, and there's something, I don't remember what the percentage is after 2 years. We shouldn't have a problem. We got two, well, I say two, this road paving in one of those budgets that we're going to do, which will be a pretty good size obligation once we do it. There's also, we're looking at that Cherry Tree lagoon system over in Adair County, where we're going to run the line from Stillwell to down there, so it'll be on the city sewer, because that lagoon's going to completely fail someday. So there's going to be some funds out of this to do that also. So there's two big obligations that's going to go on there pretty quick and take up a lot of that.
And if you would, David, just email us the projects that you're going to do on stimulus, and we'll take a look at them.
Okay.
Anyone, do you have a question?
On the 6 foreclosures in Cherokee County, would you be so kind as to just email me some additional information on those locations primarily?
Okay. Sure can.
There's 4, and then I saw 2 new ones, and that, especially that last one. David, did we work with them on Title VI to see if there was any way that we could salvage that?
Yeah, and like I think I mentioned earlier, there's going to be some more Title VI added to this that we sent this month. It just got to, couldn't, and Shay and them she can talk more about it, but she's got a lady that does nothing but collections for different programs. And they've already worked out some arrangements with them, and they didn't do those. They can't even get them to contact them now. It's gotten to that point.
Are any of these houses that we might be interested in on the buyback?
On the maps, I haven't seen one that's been attractive yet. But every one of them crosses my desk, so I get to look at each one of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions for David? Thank you, David. Next is Commerce to Housing Report. Shay, are you going to do that for Randall?
Yes. Good afternoon. I'm Shay Smith. and you should have a copy of our housing report, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Is there any particular questions for Shelley? I know she was in our subcommittee meeting a while ago, and there was some questions. I think we got them answered about the buyback and the repossessed homes. I think we have those answered. So, seeing none, Jay, I think you're on to
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Move on to old business. I see none pending. New business, none pending. And I got any announcements that we want to bring forward at this time? I do have an announcement I want to make. It's going to please some people, and some people it's not going to please. But last month we had about a rules committee, and we actually changed the time of the community services committee meeting and the health committee meeting. But as chairman of the committee for the community services, I'm going to change that meeting back. I just think it's upset our timetables for the last 2.5 years. We've had it on a Tuesday following the council meeting, so I'm going to set that back for the same time, the same day but a different time. I'm going to set our meetings at 9:30 on the Tuesday following the council meetings. I don't believe that will happen until November because the October meetings are already set. Some is going to please and some is not, but I think as the chairman of that committee, I believe it's going to work best for all of us involved. So that's what I've decided to do. I think I could do that legally through the procedure, so let that be known that my meeting is going to be on those days. Yes, sir, Mr. Carter.
When are we going to Bull Hole?
We talked about that, and I'm sorry, I'll let Mr. Snail answer that.
We're going to do it on April the 21st of next year.
Okay, thank you.
What had happened, we just had some stuff scheduled in October, and November was filled up, and we couldn't do it. So, with that being said, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you.